That was an investment decision based on the risk picture that we saw for Brazilian bonds. And the exact event you could say that triggered it was the very intense fire season last year, and the tensions between the European Union and Brazil due to that, because we saw that the treaty between Mercosur and the EU, the new trade treaty, was maybe becoming a little bit in danger. Whether that would even be approved on the EU side, because you know that each of the countries in the EU have to approve, and there are a couple of countries who have said they have reservations. And then with that whole situation flaring up, we saw really the risk picture deteriorating for Brazilian bonds at that time. And at the same time, there was the longer term issue of whether an economy such as Brazil, which is where the economic activity is based so much on the natural capital, how can that be sustainable in the long term, also financially sustainable, if you don't ensure that financial or that the natural capital is allowed to regenerate. If you exploit the natural capital in an unsustainable way, and deforestation is a part of that, then in the end you really will not be able to keep up the level of agricultural production, whether it be beef or soy or any other agricultural commodities, and that also in the longer term is really a risk for the economic outlook of Brazil. And when you invest in sovereign bonds, that's what you look at. You look at how is this economy going to develop over time. And here you had a short-term risk from the Mercosur EU negotiations, and you had the longer-term risk, which is the risk really of the Brazilian dependency on this natural capital, on the ecology, and whether that is being maintained in a sustainable way. Now, of course, we have had, together with some other investors, a dialogue, or have started a dialogue, you can say, with the Brazilian government and also with the Chamber of Deputies. And we will have to see where that leads. Right now, it's just that the telephone line is open, but we need to see some results also. And it's a little bit worrying to see that the deforestation rate is increasing again, and that's of course not what we were hoping for. I mean, one thing is what you talk about, and that you can have a polite conversation, and of course we need to do that. But the other is that the investment decisions that we make, they are going to be based on the facts on the ground, and not on statements from one part or the other. I think it's true. It's becoming more mainstream, and the bar for sort of the conventional funds is being lifted all the time. So, like I said, we don't have any coal producers now. Maybe in 5 years there will not be any oil producers either, unless they have presented a credible plan how to be compliant with the Paris Agreement. We're looking at other sectors also now, and of course, beef production is one of them. A lot of other sectors that also have strong climate effects that are not oil producers, or very sort of the logical ones you look at first, but you have to look at more and more. And so I think that again, especially for European asset managers, because they will be subject to the EU regulation, the bottom bar will keep rising all the time. So that's one thing which we are also doing and have been doing for some years. And the other thing is that we are, at least in Nordea, we are taking more and more of the regular funds and actually turning them around and making them into ESG funds. So if you had asked me a year ago, it would have been maybe 20% of the funds that were sort of special markets at ESG. Now it's 30%, and that proportion will also rise over time, because new clients are coming into those products more than to the old products, and we are taking also some of the old products and changing them. Yeah, I think that definitely, and there's a report from the London School of Economics which talks about that exactly. That there is, there are really two ways you can say, if you want to make it very categorical, you can say either you can go the way where you just keep burn more forest, clear more land, plant more soil, raise more beef, and that's it. or you can go the other way where you start caring for the environment and make sure that you can regenerate and that the resource is not lost. And that would be, at least when we look at it from here, it would be a much more profitable in the long term, a much more sustainable path to take for a country like Brazil.